are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve.
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keenan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.79 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,242 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,610. Antiwar.com reports released on Sunday. A new report from the UN assistance mission in Afghanistan says 1,692 civilians were killed across Afghanistan in the first 6 months of 2018. This is the highest death toll for a half a year since the UN started keeping track. Interestingly, the same report showed a slight decline in overall casualties among Afghan civilians over the same period. This suggests the attacks are deadlier, but leaving fewer survivors overall. It is particularly noteworthy that this half year set a new record as it came with a multi-day ceasefire in June, during which fighting nationwide ground to a virtual halt. This increase in deaths is seen as being driven at least in part by a substantial rise in suicide attacks that included some very large-scale attacks attributed to the Islamic State. The UN found that over half of the casualties from suicide attacks were from those launched by the Islamic State, underscoring the group's growing influence in the country. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com. UPI reports an Oregon woman was found 200 feet down a cliff near Big Sur, California, since being missing 1 week ago, according to authorities. Angela Hernandez of Portland, Oregon, was found by the Monterey County Sheriff's Office while responding to a report of a white Jeep with Oregon plates over the cliff off of Highway 1. Hernandez, who had been missing since July 6, was taken by helicopter to a hospital, according to a Facebook post by the Sheriff's Office late Friday. Hernandez said she had been there for 1 week, and to stay hydrated, she used a radiator hose to siphon water from a nearby stream. On Thursday and Friday, the Sheriff's Office had searched Highway 1 for her white 2011 Jeep Patriot. 2 people walking in the area found her vehicle partially submerged and dialed 911, according to the Sheriff's Office. Isabel Hernandez posted on Facebook on Saturday, "My sister is alive, she's talking, and she's still trying to come to understand everything. She's a fighter and she fought this long and she will continue to. It's not going to be an easy recovery." A GoFundMe account has been set up by the sister, who said in her accident she lost everything, including her car, which was her livelihood. Her family said they last heard from her on July 6 from Half Moon Bay. She was driving from Portland to Lancaster in California to visit family. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. Reuters reports surfers warily returned to the waters off Fernandina Beach in northern Florida over the weekend after what appeared to be a rare double shark attack on Friday. Fernandina Beach Fire Department got a call late Friday afternoon that a 30-year-old man was bitten by a shark. 3 minutes later, they received a call about a 17-year-old who had been bitten just over a mile south down the beach, according to a statement by the city. The beach was immediately closed but reopened on Saturday, with ocean rescue services watching the waters for dangerous marine life. Shark attacks are common in Florida, with dozens reported in the state each year, but they usually happen in waters off southern Atlantic beaches and are rare in the state's northernmost county, where Fernandina Beach is located. The city's police department said in a statement that Dustin Theobald, 30, received several lacerations and puncture wounds to his right foot from the bite. The 17-year-old, who was not identified, received puncture wounds to his foot as well, according to the fire department. The city said both were in stable condition and with non-life-threatening injuries. Theobald told a local television news station information. He was watching his 8-year-old surf when he saw what he believed to be a nurse shark or a black tip shark and kicked it to try to make it go away. The teenager was bitten while wading in shallow water. It was not clear whether one or two separate sharks were involved in the two incidents. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following several months of negotiations, representatives at the Minnesota State Museum confirmed today that they have extended their final offer to the anonymous owner of the couch from the hit 1970s sitcom The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
We hope an agreement can be reached soon because after months of back and forth, we just need a straight answer here.
Healy noted that the brown velvet artifact would be a welcome addition to its media wing, which boasts a robust collection, including several iconic Minnesota pieces.
We have the fence from Grumpy Old Men. We acquired the puck from the Mighty Ducks several months ago.
Healy and his team made their first bid in December of 2012 and have cycled through 5 rounds of negotiations, reportedly tripling their initial offer in an urgent attempt to secure the sale.
It's not every day that an artifact of this significance comes on the market and went... Oh my God, it's him. It's him, okay? Hello, sir. What would you say if I went up another 2?
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
the Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencastr studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and it is a wonderful Monday here in the Shire. So we've got some news. We'll have a guest on during Crypto Hour. We'll have Yusha Evans will be joining us from motionproject.org, our new sponsors over there. We'll have opportunities, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe more, who knows, for you to win free coins. You just got to keep an ear out and an eye out for the
faucet sound.
Yeah, the faucet sound. I'm sorry, your tweet just distracted me. Sorry. So yeah, with the faucet sound, we've got some big plans coming up for later this week. Some pretty awesome stuff we've got planned that are, well, we've never done anything like it before. It'll definitely be interesting if we don't electrocute ourselves or destroy some of our electronics in the process.
Isn't that always a distinct possibility?
It's always a distinct possibility. As you hear, we didn't realize you were with us, Tom. I asked if you were here earlier, and I didn't hear you.
I didn't hear you ask.
Oh, well, you must not have been here yet.
Welcome to the show, Tom.
Oh, yeah, Tom. We'll tell you in the break what you'll be doing on Wednesday as well. We're working...
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
It's just gonna. We'll tell you what you're going to be doing.
Anarchism has died here, man.
Yeah.
Apparently
it is now a dictatorship. It is officially a dictatorship.
The last place I
we're
could go
hoping
to
finish out. We'll figure out what our schedule openings are. We'll hire the 2 new co-hosts, and we'll all do it together on Wednesday, even if we have to do it in different locations. It should be a lot of fun, though. It should be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it.
People are going to get a big laugh out of it, and we're going to make a change, at least challenge for change, hopefully. Anyway, but we started out. Now, I got this article here. It's from Mondoweiss, and it kind of got my attention. I thought it was really humorous because I'd heard, Linda Sarsour, who is a Palestinian, quote unquote, Palestinian activist.
I think you mispronounced social justice warrior.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I think I mispronounced opportunist who will do anything to further her career, even sell out her own people in order to promote the political careers of other people so that she can hopefully ride their coattails to her own stardom.
Now, is that one word,
I was
going to
go
hyphenated?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the one word version of it is a word I don't think we can say on the air in Texas.
Oh, okay. Well,
starts with a B and ends in something you have to scratch.
God, I hope we can say that. I said that at least once an episode.
Right?
True.
It says, rising Democratic star. Well, anyway, we were going to just cover this story, but then I actually started watching the entire video, not just the clip that was isolated for this story, but the whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a gold mine of stupidity. We have to listen to this thing on the air and get as much of it through in an hour, because there's nothing more fun than laughing at how dumb socialists are. But it says here that a rising Democrat star, everybody's heard of her, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Well, she famously tweeted, "This is a massacre," after Israel's slaughter of 60 Gazans on May 14th, and said that Democrats must not be silent anymore about Israeli human rights violations, and opposed the embassy move. Since her surprise victory over a Democratic leader in the last month, she's gotten a little bit of pushback from the establishment. More came Friday on PBS on Firing Line, and Ocasio-Cortez seemed to walk back her comments. She wrote that the tweet was an activist, according to her, and, well, she's not an activist anymore. Now she's about to be a congressperson representing a broad district with many Zionist Jews in it.
You know what's messed up about that is that, running for office doesn't stop you from being an activist. Like Ron Paul remained one his entire career.
She's promised to learn and evolve her position. Ocasio-Cortez vowed
they got to her.
Yeah.
They got to her.
She supports the two-state solution, and she seemed to be flustered when asked why she used the term occupation. She then apologized for herself, claiming to be no expert on Middle Eastern issues. I may not have used the right words, she says.
Well, I understand where she's coming from. If I was doing an interview and asked about it, I would describe it as an occupation as well. And if an interviewer expressed any kind of concern about that, I probably wouldn't be able to justify it. It's just based on what I know, it's an occupation.
Yeah.
And, a genocide. Well, but can I sit here and explain to you why I'm using that word? Not really, because I don't know the full history of how that land
which
came
would
to be
prevent
Israel's.
you from using it as a political tool in a campaign.
Touché.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're going to be dumb enough to stick your nose out there, then you're going to have to, hey, Linda, honey, did she just Gary Johnson you? Is that what happened? Did you spend hours with her, prepping her on how to answer these questions, and she dropped the ball because she's too dumb or nervous? Or did you drop the ball and you went out and promoted the hell out of this girl because she follows the philosophy that you've now decided that you follow, and you will convince people from our faith to convert from our faith to follow?
Yeah, isn't socialism anti-Islamic?
Well, I mean, we do believe that law exists to protect the right of property, and that, when you pay your zakat, what you do is you go buy the debt of the poor person down the street. The state doesn't get to come beat you over the head with a stick to make sure that you did. But when you tell her that, then, her response is to call you Donald Trump or tell you that she's right and the scholars are wrong. Anyway, but Ocasio basically, from the sound of it, is the revolution that never was. She's the revolutionary that never launched, and she's the champion of human rights who, when challenged just a little bit on one of the biggest human rights violations of our era, doesn't really have any answers and immediately changes course because, well, she's trying to get elected, and everybody knows getting elected is more important than social justice.
Yeah, she's the pig who arrived already looking like a human out of Animal Farm. So no transition necessary.
Did you just say nice or be nice?
I said nice.
Oh, right.
That's a great analogy. No, I'm not going to ask anyone to be nice. This is extraordinarily disappointing.
Before
we thought we finally had someone, and of course, I disagree with her on most policy issues.
What's this we?
But we
I
thought
think
we
you
had
mispronounced
someone.
everything.
Do you got a mouse in your pocket over there, Tom? Because I called it. I was like, who wants to take bets on how long it is before she sells out?
Yeah, I wasn't
That was
there.
going to happen.
That's right. Tom wasn't here for that show.
But I'll be honest. I probably would have taken the over on how long that was going to take. This is an extremely, this should really send messages to people who aren't already convinced of exactly how powerful the pro-Israel lobby is in both parties. If you weren't already in the know about this was the person I would have considered least susceptible to this sort of rhetoric, because it doesn't even help her in her own district, which is massively majority minority.
I think
and
that's
yet here
too
she
narrow.
is.
It's not the Israeli.
It's the Christian
body
vote.
that's so powerful. It's just
there's
the
a large
state in
Jewish
general
and
and
a
the
large
establishment.
Catholic community where she lives. And
Catholic, yes, yeah, but Jewish, no.
It doesn't. They're still Zionists.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
If you have Zionists in your district, you don't question the empire ever.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you can go this way? You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
I turned myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal. I'm a pickle. What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle! I'm Pickle Rick! Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah, I'd like to get a 10-piece McNugget and a bunch of the Szechuan sauce. Like, as much as you're allowed to give me. As much as you're allowed to give me. As much as you're allowed to give me. Szechuan sauce. Szechuan sauce. And it's delicious. And it's delicious. Szechuan sauce. Szechuan sauce. And it's delicious. And it's delicious. Szechuan sauce.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
McDonald's Szechuan sauce is disgusting, by the way, and an insult to the people of China.
I second that.
All right, well, we're broadcasting live from the ZenCast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, we've been talking about the revolution that never was. That's right, the Democrat Socialist Revolution of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It lasted all of about a week before she started selling out to the powers that be. Well, I wanted us to take an opportunity to listen to what she had to say about democratic socialism so we could hear just, well, it's funny. It's really funny. Like, there were so many spots that I laughed so hard that I just decided, you know what, instead of only talking about the one little spot where she sells out to the Israel lobby immediately when challenged, listening to her try to describe her entire ideology with all of the factual inaccuracies that exist is comical. So I figured, let's have a listen. We're going to hear some clips from the Firing Line episode on PBS with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Her win was a political earthquake. She was elected not by criticizing Donald Trump, but by making a positive case for democratic socialism and racial justice.
Oh my God. So basically the opposite of what Hillary Clinton did.
Right. And she's in a district in New York that is like 99% Hispanic or something.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think racism is going to be an issue there.
No, not really.
According to pundits, she has high-speed Wi-Fi and a system still impressed by dial-up.
She looks like she's 12.
A social media influencer who can sell policy and sell out.
Did it say she's still impressed by dial-up?
No. They said she's high-speed internet in a nation still impressed by dial-up.
Okay. Because, that makes sense. A socialist would be impressed by dial-up.
Yeah. They'd be impressed by any kind of communication. Hell, they're impressed by electricity. More than one type of deodorant.
28.8K?
More than one type of deodorant is an extravagance. So, to the God King.
Out lipstick with a single tweet.
Wait a second. She sells out lipstick with tweets? Damn capitalists.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Damn capitalists.
Yeah, she tweeted what her lipstick type was one day, and the whole brand sold out nationwide.
Hold on, brands? That's capitalist nonsense.
For real,
down with the bourgeois.
Smash capitalism.
She is the progressive it girl, as much for her ideas as for her sheer political talent. A campaign worker wrote, Ocasio-Cortez is as articulate as she is relatable, as charismatic as she is fierce. In the last 2 weeks, she has become the vanguard of the American progressive movement, And should she be elected, she'll also be the youngest woman ever to serve in the United States Congress.
Okay, so first of all, her defenders call this interview like a hack job, like she was there with the elites were against her and they're stacked and they had to take her down. And I'm, wait, what? I've never. That was like 5 minutes of just I love you, I love you, I love. Like, how on earth could you say that this is an interview that was like, no, this girl's a fangirl, yo. I'm sorry. Or somebody on their writing staff is a fanboy or a fangirl here, because you don't gild the lily for 2.5 minutes for somebody that you aren't a fan of.
Yeah, talking about deep-throating boots.
For real.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, welcome to Firing Line.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Your win was such a shock, and it was because you worked hard. That's the first point you always make, is that you outworked your opponent.
It was all shoe leather.
The term democratic socialist is a term that young people hear very differently than old people. And I wonder if you could expound on what that term means to you.
Because old people were forced to fight the Cold War against it.
I often say that, to me, democratic socialism is the value that in a modern, moral, and wealthy society, no person in America should be too poor to live. And for me, what it really means is establishing a baseline level of economic and social dignity in the United States, to say, no matter what happens, we're not going to go below this level, that we should aim for every person in this country to be covered by health care, to have access to a full college education as well as trade school, and to make sure that people feel stable in their housing.
Yeah, so let me explain to this chick that what she just said is how you take that wealthy nation and turn it into a not wealthy one. I mean, we've seen that happen over and over and over throughout the last century. It just happened to freaking Venezuela, who is now filled with a country of people who have to breed rabbits to not starve to death. And they were not always that way. They were wealthy back in 2005, 2006 under Chavez.
Tom.
They weren't that wealthy. But
I didn't say they were as wealthy as America, but they were wealthy. They were not breeding rabbits to avoid starving to death at any rate.
See, and of course, like I said, we disagree with her vehemently policy-wise, but this is like the good side of Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. I get the feeling we're about to hear a little bit more of the not-so-good side. Which is her sellout self.
Well, I mean, her feelings are good. Her heart is in the right place. But there is a disconnect between what she wants to do and what the result will be.
Economic.
I mean, I want everyone to be wealthy and have health care too. But I'm conscious and aware enough to know that socialism is not going to produce that result. And she's stupid enough to believe that it will.
Articulated, I aspire to as well. Yeah. So what is it about democratic socialism that to you makes it the best vehicle for achieving those ends?
I come from the background as an organizer. And in this moment right now, this political moment, democratic social, or perhaps even DSA in particular, is one of the only active organizing groups in the United States that is actively asserting that. You know, I think that so many people tap into those values, and it's not so much about selling an ism, a color, a party, an ideology, as much as it is asserting and advancing the basic aspects of human dignity in 2018.
So promoting democratic socialism is totally not about promoting an ism. All right, when we get back here, we'll have more gems like that one and the revolution that never was. Here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We are talking about right now the Democratic Socialist Revolution that, well, never was. Alexandria Ocasio is giving. Well, she's giving us an education in what evidently democratic socialist 20-somethings think that socialism is.
But she's complaining about how her nomination was redistributed.
Right. Well, let's hear a little more of her gems of wisdom on what is democratic socialism and why is it better than all the other isms while somehow also not being an ism.
So you mentioned DSA. In case our viewers don't know what DSA is, it's Democratic Socialists of America.
Okay, now wait a second. Before we go on, she said now, democratic socialism, it's not about a race, it's not about a color, it's not about a party, it's not about an ism, it's about the DSA, which is a party.
And what's really interesting is that it has increased its participation significantly in the last few years. In 2016, there were only 6,500 members of the Democratic Socialists of America. In 2017, there were 23,700, and by July of 2018, there are 44,000 members of the Democratic Socialists of America, 216 chapters across the country, and particularly buoyed by young people. So explain, in your view, what it is about democratic socialism that appeals to millennials and young.
Public schooling. That's why young people.
I don't even think it's that. I think
No
it's
Child Left Behind. There we go.
Well, as the resident millennial, it's that they genuinely don't know what socialism is. And I mean, you can see this in the videos where newscasters go and they ask the millennials there who support socialism basic, simple questions about why they think the state should control the means of production and things like that. They have no idea what you're even asking.
Well, see, now, here's what
to them, it's just this set of feelings and desires that they think they should want without any acknowledgement of the reality that socialism is incapable of producing those results.
Well, let's see what the spokesman for their revolution says.
Young people.
Well, I think that for our generation, we kind of view the world through a very different lens. In my life, for example, I was born in 1989, and so at that point, I was growing up during the Clinton era, and then basically when I was in middle school, 9/11 happened. So when you think about young people, it's important to think about the general timeline, the world that we grew up in. I was about 17, 18 years old when the financial crisis hit. We never experienced really a time of true economic prosperity in the United States, and a lot of what we have witnessed.
I was born in 1981. Guess what? Neither did we. We went from the recession to our parents having things to, as soon as we graduated high school, within 2 years, they outsourced all the jobs that they told us that we should go get. And then many of us had bought houses based on incomes that we had on jobs we had just gotten, and then they were sent to India, and now we had these houses and
Mexico
this debt.
NAFTA, correct?
Yeah, this debt, and then that created the housing crisis. So I don't understand what I know I'm technically a millennial too because I was born in 1981, which we're basically me, you, and Tom, all three. But I think 81, 82, 83, like the early 80s is like the lost generation.
Yeah, you're like right there at Gen X and the millennials.
Yeah, we're this section that's between the two that we never got any of this stuff either, but we get credit for being like Gen Xers. Like, oh, well, you should have success like they had in the night. Well, no, bro. I was in high school. I didn't have access to that stuff.
Well, it's generally, I mean, honestly, it's not millennials that are being the socialists. It's the people younger than millennials. Or I don't know, they may qualify for millennials, but it's the people born like 91 and later.
It's the children of No Child Left Behind. That's who it is. Because she even said, she was like, well, I was in middle school when 9/11 happened. And I was like, yep. No Child Left Behind during the most formative years of your education, middle school through high school, where you learned the most. You were taught by the dumbest fools at one of the dumbest federalized education efforts to ever exist. So why do young people in your age group love some socialism? Well, because they got big, big doses of it.
This is the unprecedented concentration of wealth at the very tippy top of the 1%. And
wealth that was concentrated through let's see here. Corporations, that's government grant, right? Government grants corporation status. So that's a special status of inaccountability granted by socialist government. And then on top of that, you had George Bush said, what was it that he said? I have to
save the free market, we have to abandon free market principles.
Yes, I have to abandon the free market to save the free market. So again, all of this stuff, she's like, we need government to fix it. Socialism's the answer. What's the problem? Government created all of these problems. But no, that's not what she says created all of these problems.
We've seen the consolidation of corporations start to really erode our wages, really erode.
You realize that socialism is the ultra consolidation of all corporations, right?
Yes.
You idiot. If your issue is the consolidation of corporations, why in God's name would you want to create this Uber corporation that is the state that controls freaking everything
because we are
in the
state.
country?
It's democracy, so we are the state.
No, she is the state.
Access to health care. And so I think young people are very receptive to a very strong economic message of dignity for working class Americans.
That was really your rallying cry in your campaign. It was always about working class Americans. You talk about the top versus the bottom, not the left versus the right.
Right.
Now the economy is going pretty strong, right? There's roughly 4% unemployment, 3.9% unemployment. Do you think that capitalism has failed to deliver for working class Americans, or is no longer the best vehicle for working class Americans?
Well, I think the numbers that you just talked about is part of the problem, right? Because we look at these figures and we say, oh, unemployment is low, everything is fine, right? Well, unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely
she doesn't
feed
even
their
have
kids.
the easy answer
And
to that
so
one.
I do think that right now when we have this no holds barred, Wild West hyper-capitalism.
No, wait. Hold on. I got to play that again. Wait a second. I got to play that again. This is what she calls America today.
Barred, Wild West hyper-capitalism.
No holds bar, Wild West, hyper-capitalism. In the same America where little black kids can get arrested for mowing yards without a license.
And where there is the minimum wage, which is the source of 100% of the unemployment in the United States. Because, there's not just unemployment, there's also overemployment. There's a nation having too many jobs and not enough people to work them. We've never seen that. We don't even have a word for it, but it would be called overemployment. The reason we don't have that is because of the minimum wage, setting a price floor on the value of labor.
So what I zeroed
which always
in on,
creates a surplus of that good, and the surplus of the good is labor. And what do you call a surplus of labor? Unemployment. Basic economics, chick.
Yep.
Also, she forgot about labor force participation rate, which is the easy and correct answer to why unemployment seems artificially low according to the socialist government.
It's almost like she doesn't understand how any of this works at all. Good Lord.
Well, what did you say? No child left behind.
Yeah. Anyway, when we get back
She's
here,
using that Common Core math.
we're going to continue on, and we're going to hit a little clip of her. She's going to sell out for Israel.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A month after the death of leader Kim Jong-il, North Korea's 24.5 million citizens have returned to their regular daily routines this week, holding a festive synchronized disco jump rope gala in Pyongyang's main public square. Life in the hermetic communist nation is reportedly beginning to normalize following the protracted mourning period, with citizens once again donning their brightly colored uniforms and performing intricate gymnastics routines in perfect unison.
It is an inspiring sight to see so many loyal citizens find the strength to unfurl their long silken streamers and do dozens of tandem backflips set to dance music.
Observers reported that new North Korean leader Kim Jong-un nodded once in approval of the disco jump rope gala, signaling an official transfer of power.
A recent study from the Centers for Disease Control finds that over 100 million children are being exposed to harmful levels of stupidity in their own homes. Hear the debate about secondhand ignorance on the next In the Know.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting from the Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about, someone only young, dumb, broke high school kids would vote for, with the same mentality as young, dumb, broke high school kids. Gives me some free stuff. So, Miss Cortez has been educating us on how America is rampant with uncontrolled Wild West super capitalism. Ultra capitalism, that's the word she used. Ultra capitalism.
That reminds me of arguing with someone on YouTube who described the United States as an over-regulated, ultra-fascist capitalism paradise. I was like, I don't think you know what any of those words mean. No, an unregulated fascist capitalism nightmare is what he called it.
Yes, which again, yeah, Anyway, we got a little bit more before we're going to go on to the next, this last clip, which is the ultimate foreign policy sellout.
What that means is profit at any cost. Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country started, we were not a capitalist. We did not operate on a capitalist economy.
Tom!
What? What? That's like the one thing anybody agrees about the founding of the country is that capitalism was a thing.
I mean, she's right that capitalism didn't always exist. I mean, we used to be barbarians who just beat each other up and take whatever we wanted from each other.
Yeah.
It was private property and capitalism that, saved us from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's talking
and she's
about
like,
this.
we need to make this whole barbarism thing
cool
national policy.
Well, she's talking about, though, when the country was founded. I mean, when the country was founded...
You already had corporations.
The founding fathers were all capitalists who were like, we want capitalism and stuff. And England was all like, no, we want monarchy and stuff. I mean, that's the American Revolution
in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, that this 28-year-old 1989 born, I didn't pay any attention in history class to understand.
Well, because history class pointed out that, socialism killed a bunch of freaking people.
They
so
didn't teach history by the time she got to that level. Remember, you don't really learn history in elementary school and very much in middle school. And they switched to No Child Left Behind by the time she was in high school, which meant they taught what was on the test. And guess what's not on the test? History. You learn how to read and how to do basic algebra and lower math. And that's all they teach you in school anymore. Like, even in the history class, they're like, here, read this. We got to prepare you for these tests because the tests decide on whether or not I get paid.
You're absolutely correct. When all of those standardized tests, I don't remember ever taking history on any of them.
No, they're not.
And when I took my GED, the science test actually contained the answers within the questions if you knew how to read it properly.
Yeah.
It's just total...
pathetic.
Yeah.
The benefit of capitalism is that you engage in voluntary trade, and that because it creates value, it is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution. And so I would hope that the most recent economic system, our current economic system, is the one that is most beneficial for everyday people. But what we're also starting to see is that, first of all, I think that when we talk about socialist or especially democratically socialist economies. First of all, they're done with the full input of everybody. You vote. It's democratic. So if something is not a good idea, it doesn't get voted for, ideally.
Ideally. But if you asked her, do you think Donald Trump being president is a good idea? She would resoundingly say, no, God, no, oh, hell no. Trump's the god of evil and war and sexism. He's capitalism's horrible devil child. He should never have been elected. Well, yeah, but people voted for him, stupid. Duh. So, yeah, democracy is
it's tyranny over the few by the many.
Yeah,
I don't want to participate in this crap that she's talking about.
Well,
but if they vote for it, I have to.
All right, so before we run out of time, I want to make sure we cover her gigantic sellout.
Likely going to be going to Washington, and you'll have to sort of build out some of those foreign policy positions. You, in the campaign, made one tweet or made one statement that referred to a killing by Israeli soldiers of civilians in Gaza and called it a massacre, which became a little bit controversial. But I haven't seen anywhere. What is your position on Israel?
Well, I believe absolutely in Israel's right to exist. I am a proponent of a two-state solution. And for me, this is not a referendum, I think, on the state of Israel. For me, the lens through which I saw this incident as an activist, as an organizer, if 60 people were killed in Ferguson, Missouri, if 60 people were killed in the South Bronx, unarmed, 60 people were killed in Puerto Rico, I just looked at that incident more through just as an incident. And to me, it would just be completely unacceptable if that happened on our shores. But I am...
Of course, the dynamic there in terms of geopolitics and the war in the Middle East is very different than people expressing their First Amendment right to protest.
Well, yes, but...
Boom! And there it is. So let's see. We started off with the approved line. I absolutely acknowledge the right of Israel to exist and support a two-state solution.
Screw that.
That's the approved line.
It is.
Here's what I say. States, no state has a right to exist. I support a no-state solution, and I can't say on the air how I would like to punctuate that statement. Let's just say it starts with an F and ends with an Israel.
I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that to me is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
Oh wow!
I think what I meant
the moment,
like
the moment of
the
revelation
settlements that are increasing.
I love how she's like,
oh no, they've got me now,
and she just sits there like.
All she had to do was say Gaza.
What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? What do I say?
What do I say? What do I say?
In some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Listen how her confidence just leeches out.
Did you notice how she became more and more meek and feminine sounding as she went on?
Yeah.
You know,
like she'd been beaten like a puppy.
I know. Hold on.
Like somebody took her out back and hit her with a newspaper and said, "No, you support Israel. No."
Hold on, though.
I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue. You know,
I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue. Linda Sarsauer, my huge supporter, who also lives in the same city that I do, totally didn't prep me for any of these questions.
Well, they've certainly got her to toe one very important Democratic Party line, which is you're not allowed to have basic humanity unless you're a foreign policy expert.
What?
And that's how they get around feeling basic humanity for brown kids. Well, I'm not an expert.
I'm
not an expert. I'm not an expert.
But I am happy to sit down with leaders in the party on this issue.
I'm very happy to sit down with my masters and put on the little collar that shocks me when I say something bad about Israel.
She got challenged. And she will have plenty of examples of Israeli occupations in Palestine. Just listen to our show, chick.
Hey guys, these two managed to turn the evangelical Christian former Republican in the room into anti-Zionist. What do you think they can do for you?
All right, guys. Well, when we get back here, we're gonna continue on. We'll have the Crypto Hour brought to you by MotionProject.org. When we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.79 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,242 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,610. Antiwar.com reports released on Sunday. A new report from the UN assistance mission in Afghanistan says 1,692 civilians were killed across Afghanistan in the first 6 months of 2018. This is the highest death toll for a half a year since the UN started keeping track. Interestingly, the same report showed a slight decline in overall casualties among Afghan civilians over the same period. This suggests the attacks are deadlier, but leaving fewer survivors overall. It is particularly noteworthy that this half year set a new record as it came with a multi-day ceasefire in June, during which fighting nationwide ground to a virtual halt. This increase in deaths is seen as being driven at least in part by a substantial rise in suicide attacks that included some very large-scale attacks attributed to the Islamic State. The UN found that over half of the casualties from suicide attacks were from those launched by the Islamic State, underscoring the group's growing influence in the country. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports an Oregon woman was found 200 feet down a cliff near Big Sur, California, since being missing 1 week ago, according to authorities. Angela Hernandez of Portland, Oregon, was found by the Monterey County Sheriff's Office while responding to a report of a white Jeep with Oregon plates over the cliff off of Highway 1. Hernandez, who had been missing since July 6, was taken by helicopter to a hospital, according to a Facebook post by the Sheriff's Office late Friday. Hernandez said she had been there for 1 week, and to stay hydrated, she used a radiator hose to siphon water from a nearby stream. On Thursday and Friday, the Sheriff's Office had searched Highway 1 for her white 2011 Jeep Patriot. 2 people walking in the area found her vehicle partially submerged and dialed 911, according to the Sheriff's Office. Isabel Hernandez posted on Facebook on Saturday, "My sister is alive, she's talking, and she's still trying to come to understand everything. She's a fighter and she fought this long and she will continue to. It's not going to be an easy recovery." A GoFundMe account has been set up by the sister, who said in her accident she lost everything, including her car, which was her livelihood. Her family said they last heard from her on July 6 from Half Moon Bay. She was driving from Portland to Lancaster in California to visit family. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. Reuters reports surfers rarely returned to the waters off Fernandina Beach in northern Florida over the weekend after what appeared to be a rare double shark attack on Friday. Fernandina Beach Fire Department got a call late Friday afternoon that a 30-year-old man was bitten by a shark. 3 minutes later, they received a call about a 17-year-old who had been bitten just over a mile south down the beach, according to a statement by the city. The beach was immediately closed, but reopened on Saturday with Ocean Rescue Services watching the waters for dangerous marine life. Shark attacks are common in Florida, with dozens reported in the state each year, but they usually happen in waters off southern Atlantic beaches and are rare in the state's northernmost county, where Fernandina Beach is located. The city's police department said in a statement that Dustin Theobald, 30, received several lacerations and puncture wounds to his right foot from the bite. The 17-year-old, who was not identified, received puncture wounds to his foot as well, according to the fire department. The city said both were in stable condition and with non-life-threatening injuries. Theobald told a local television news station he was watching his 8-year-old surf when he saw what he believed to be a nurse shark or a black tip shark and kicked it to try to make it go away. The teenager was bitten while wading in shallow water. It was not clear whether one or two separate sharks were involved in the two incidents. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Last month, the FDA approved Hallucex, a new class of weight loss drug that helps users avoid overeating by producing nightmarish hallucinations whenever food is around. Hallucex targets the brain's cerebral cortex, stimulating the centers responsible for fear and visual processing. Test subjects reported an unprecedented decrease in appetite and showed dramatic weight loss, with only 18% reporting night terrors or subsequent cardiac arrest.
It's designed to make fatty and sugary foods even scarier. An apple just looks like it has fangs, but a milkshake will threaten you and your family by name.
Earlier incarnations of the drug proved to be too powerful and produced mental states in which test subjects no longer believed that food had ever existed. An unshakable belief that the subject had to eat all of the food on the planet in order to prevent food from rising up and destroying the human race.
No, you don't understand. I have to do this.
Or the conviction that food could be negotiated with diplomatically. With the Lab Report, I'm Aisha Patel.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
That's right, guys. It's time for the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is our Crypto Hour, brought to you now by themotionproject.org. We've got new bumpers that we've been working on. The guy who did that bumper right there, actually, has changed it around for us. We got some new female voice actors to flesh it out, and we should hopefully have that loaded in the what do you call it? The server for by the end of the week, hopefully. Just depends on when we can get Ian around to taking care of that. We have on with us today during our Crypto Hour, brought to you by themotionproject.org. Someone from themotionproject.org. We've got with us Mr. Yusha Evans. How you doing today, Yusha?
Oh, no, not Evans, but Yusha Lee is actually.
Lee, my bad. Yusha
I get
Lee.
that. I actually get that all the time, though.
I do too. I literally at the Westtown Mall had a perfect stranger walk up to me and shake my hand and be like, "Brother Yusha, I've always wanted to meet you." And I'm like,
"Oh my God,
what?" Because your hair is bright red, whereas mine is. I look like Yusha Evans. I actually like the same hair color and everything. And more than once we've been mistaken for each other.
Confused.
Well,
what's funny is that
all white Muslims look the same. You know that, brother.
Yeah. You know how they say.
We all look the same.
We all look the same, especially with when you're out with each other. It'll be like in the mall or something like that, and you'll get mistaken. It's like, oh wait, are you guys brothers? It's like, yes, but no.
Right.
Yes, but no. But anyways, we're on here today for the Motion Project, and my name is Yusha, and I'm here in representation today for motionproject.org and the Motion Project of what it is that we're trying to do is to set up a crowdfunding platform. I think that that'll all come out here in as the program goes along. We were trying to get Dr. Patelli from Australia on, but he is out in the middle of the mountains in Scotland. So we are missing his bright, wonderful Australian accent today. If you're listening to us right now, Dr. Patelli, good day, mate. And yeah, so it's really great actually to be on with you guys. It's been wonderful. Now, I think about almost a month and a half now. We've been working together with LRN.
Very cool, very cool. So, tell us a little bit about the Motion Project. How long has it been around? Where did it start? What were some of the inspirations for creating it?
Well, the Motion Project, we've been working on Motion since last year. So probably about November of last year, we've been working on it. What happened is that a whole group of us met from different projects. Me and Omar Cruz, Crypto Monk, Dr. Patelli, Junior Masters, we all met on a project called Desire. Don't buy it. It's horrible. It's really bad investment. Horrible. Don't do it. But all of us, we met together on various different projects. Also, Omar Cruz has been a part of another project called Galactrum. And there was a brother from there called Cece who came in from that project as well. And all of us got together and started to come up with this idea. First of what we were trying to do was a community takeover of a dead coin called Desire. And after all of us were working together, we decided that it's not feasible, so it's not going to happen. So we broke off and we started to discuss ideas and what it is that we could do that could be a benefit to the people and could be a benefit to the blockchain space. And we came up with the idea of Motion. And a crowdfunding platform and an asset that can be used within contracts in order to create crowdfunding projects, and that could be a backing for companies, for organizations, individuals, entrepreneurs. And we just started greasing the wheel from that day, and we worked day in, day out. We were on Discord, all of us together, just, arguing over little details until we got a white paper together. And how are we going to set this up? What about this? What about that? And figured out the ins and the outs of the coin and how to set it up and how to get everything running. And a lot of contributors came in as well. And it was to see where we are at now and where we were then. It's just, to us, it's amazing because we've gotten so far. Like, I remember it was literally the day that we launched and we were wondering to ourselves, is anyone even going to care about this? Like, is anyone even going to be interested in it? And to see the flood of people that we got in the same day, and all the miners that started setting up, and all the people that came into the Discord room, and just all the partnerships and everything, and all the media coverage that we've gotten along the way has all been really amazing. Where we're at right now within the project is we're still really super early. We're working on the asset. We're trying to make sure that all of the software, everything, we don't even have mobile wallets ready yet. So it's still so super early in the project that this is the time of just working on the asset, making sure that we have all of the technology around the asset built. It's also, this is like the time of, and, not necessarily, I want to say investors, but community support. This is a time of creating the technology that's around the asset, making the, business solutions, e-commerce solutions, everything that is going to be needed for this project here coming up in the next couple of months. And we've already ran out of our the quarter 2 goals, so already working on the quarter 3. We have mobile wallets that are the next thing that's going to come out. We have a bunch of technology that we have built, such as the 3-step masternode installer, the one-click miner, the desktop wallets, and as I said, the next thing that is on the list right now is the mobile wallets. So that's where we're at right now.
Very cool, very cool. So while we got you on the horn, we may as well play one of these. Everybody out there listening, you know what that means. That's the faucet sound. That means the next caller gets 10 free motion coins. Caller to 603-283-6160, or you can hit us up on our Discord call-in line at discord.lrn.fm, or you can also hit us at our lrn.fm studio line at on Skype. Again, the number is 603-283-6160. The next caller will get 10 free coins from the motionproject.org. Now, when we get back, we'll continue on with our interview with Yusha from the motionproject.org. We'll talk to him about staking and mining and all those other great things. So don't go anywhere. Hang around. We'll be back here in just a moment on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
Can I call in too?
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
Besides, we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencash studio, it is our Crypto Hour, brought to you by the Motion Project.org. And we just had our Motion faucet go off as well. Also sponsored by motionproject.org. And we've got a caller on the line with us right now. We've got Razor Boy. He's calling us from Vegas, watching us on YouTube. How you doing tonight, Razor Boy?
I'm doing pretty good. Just playing a little bit of RimWorld and had you guys in the background because I can't miss a show.
Very cool, very cool. So we're going to get those free Motion coins out to you. You know, you got to get the Motion. You go to motionproject.org, download the wallet either for Mac, Windows, or Linux. Put that on there. Give it a few minutes. It's auto syncing. That's one of the things I love. Like my Gold-Press Platinum wallet, I have to go to someone else's house and say, "Hey, I'm a tech moron. Can you please make my wallet work?" And every time I open it, I have to go back and do it again. Whereas with the Motion Project, it's literally set up to make it really simple. So you just install it, automatically syncs itself to the network, and we'll send you out your free coins. Tell me, Razor Boy, who gives you a chance to win free coins every day?
The Call to Freedom.
Very good. And thanks for being a part of it. We'll get those coins out to you as soon as we get the email with your password and your Motion Project address. We're also joined by Yusha Lee from motionproject.org. He is the gentleman that brought the idea of having Motion be a sponsor of the Call to Freedom to me a few months ago, and I am ever so happy now that he did. So
that's right.
Now, tell us a little about, what if I'm a miner and I want to mine Motion project. What algorithms are you on? How hard is it to mine? What kind of payouts am I looking at? Are the payouts going to stay the same? How often will they change? Are you close to that? I mean, mining is a really big question.
Yeah, well, Motion or XMN is a brand new X16R algorithm that you remember Dash is X11, so it has 11 algorithms, so which was to make it ASIC resistant during its time, but that failed obviously as a miner was made for it. So it is a X16R algorithm. The X16R basically is made up of 16 different hashing algorithms. So you have Blake, BMW, Groestel, GH, KSAC. A lot of these I cannot pronounce. Skeen, Lufa, Cube Hash. Right, it goes through 16 different hashing algorithms. Then, depending on the previous block, right, it will change the ordering of the next, of the next block of how the algorithms are going to be. What it does is that the one thing to note though, by the way, is that this is very intensive on your graphics cards. But it is set up as a X16R hashing algorithm, and the reason behind this is because as of right now, there is no ASIC that can ASIC that can be made for it, although that can change in the future. So as technology is ever changing, right, they could try to make an ASIC for X16R, and this has been proven before that take for instance with Ethash for the Ethereum algorithm. They made an ASIC for that, even though that it's highly inefficient. But the way that it works is that we can change. Go ahead.
Okay. So we cover a lot of crypto news, and a lot of the coins that we cover that have been hacked do silly things like incorporate algorithms into their coin that they don't understand, or that they don't. Yeah, I guess that they don't understand. By Motion incorporating, X16R or whatever it's called. Obviously you're relying on it to some degree, but I would assume that Motion is not just plugging and playing and going with it without evaluating the code or anything like that. So could you give us some assurance about what you're doing to make sure that you're not at the mercy of bad programming within that algorithm?
Well, one of the things to remember, though, by the way, I'm not actually the developer of the project. I am a media consultant. Okay. So Omar Cruz is the main developer, right? But Omar Cruz doesn't speak English very well. Like he's Spanish. He speaks Spanish, and he's in Mexico. Okay. So I was trying to get him to go on anyways, but he doesn't speak English very well. So he was like, I would have to use a translator for everything that I do, and it's not gonna work out well. Okay. For him, number one, I have full trust that he understands it completely. As for the hashing algorithms, though, from what I know of it, and I mean, I'm not the most technical person, but I do understand about it like this, is that you can take one of the hashing algorithms out and you can exchange it. So basically our plan is like this, that if in the case that an ASIC is made for X16R, what is going to end up happening is that we would change out one of the algorithms for a memory intensive algorithm. So it's what it does.
I was more concerned with the vulnerabilities aspect of it, and I have full confidence in Motion as well, because we've interacted with you guys so much. But I wanted our listeners to have some assurance that you're not doing what I can't remember the name of the coin did, but they just
it was Verge. What do you mean you don't remember the name of the coin?
Oh, Verge had a very big problem within. Yeah, well, it's more than just that. I mean, Verge also had a very big problem in PR, really, with Well, yeah, just PR with other projects. I mean, when you attack other, I don't want to say it like that because obviously it's it would be another attack. But when you cannot just use stuff and not give credit where credit is due.
Well, not only that, you can't copy paste new algorithms and protocols into your coin without running some kind of test to see how they're going to work with the other protocols you already have. I mean, that's how you end up with 351% attacks in 30 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think there was another coin recently. I forget the name of it, but like they incorporated open source code from another project. They didn't give any rights to it at all, said it was their own. So the developer of the other project was like, okay, and I know the vulnerabilities of it. So he just attacked them and ripped the whole coin.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. survivalspeech.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
My personal position on the death penalty is this. We know for a fact that there have been hundreds of people who have been wrongly convicted for various offenses. People who were wrongly convicted of murder and who were sentenced to death, who have later been exonerated. And from that, we can deduce that there have been innocent people who were executed for crimes they did not commit. And the fact that I do consider myself to be consistently pro-life, I don't support using taxpayer funds to kill any human at all, anywhere. Using any money that is taken by force and then used to murder people is wrong.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, coming to you on your drive home. We in the middle of our crypto hour here on the Motion, that's brought to you by motionproject.org. And at the beginning of the last segment, we had the opportunity to give away 10 free Motion Project coins to a lucky caller. So now a Motion Project wallet of about 10 coins is worth around $6 right now.
Awesome, it's going up.
Then you have the opportunity, if you would like, to go and trade it on CryptoBridge. Now, if you remember, CryptoBridge, we had them on the show right around the time of their launch.
Did we?
We did. Yusha brought them to us. He said, hey, I know these guys are launching a new exchange. And
are they a decentralized exchange?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so, but I remember we had them on, but it's not important.
We've had a couple exchanges on, actually.
We have.
We've had AirSwaps on. We've had a few different people on. So
we should get Coinbase on here and just grill them for an hour.
Coinbase isn't crypto. I want to get Itbit in the chair and ask them
we could
why
call it the
they're
not crypto hour that day.
For real, we could get Itbit in the chair and be like, so, why do you feed information to the feds? And why do you snitch on Bitcoin sellers to the FBI? And what exactly are you doing in our community, you usurper? And
I bet we could get the BitConnect guy.
Right. Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. My name is Carlos Matos. This is not a scam.
It's so very exciting to be on the Call to Freedom today.
Oh, my God. I'd be so happy if he did all of that. Like, can you just tell us how excited you are to be on the air?
Right. I'm so excited to be here. So anyway, we've got Yusha Lee on with us. He is a marketing representative for the Motion Project, motionproject.org. And when we were talking about the way that their mining operations work, and took an opportunity to take a quick kick in the balls to Verge for their quick copy-paste protocol writing. But the next question, I think this is the most important because this is really where the beauty of Motion comes in. Explain how staking in Motion works and what's necessary to do so, and basically how easy you guys have made it.
Staking isn't necessarily staking with Motion because we have what's called proof of work. Proof of stake is an algorithm, right? And it's for a coin. But what we have set up is for master nodes and proof of work. So the master nodes, though, are, and this is like a very common thing where they say, oh, it's staking. It's a master node. Master nodes, what they are is a full node that keeps a complete copy of the blockchain on something like a VPS. So when you set up a master node on the network, what it is that you, the Motion master node, you need 1,000 coins, and this amount is set up to never be forfeited, and it's set up to prevent a Sybil attack. The masternode operators.
Can I ask a question about that 1,000? Because I know that the way the masternodes work is that when someone sends a transaction on the network, the node closest to them sends those coins or something to that effect, right?
For Instant X. Yeah, for Instant X, or what it is like...
Well, hold on. My question is that, wouldn't that cause them to dip under 1,000, at least briefly?
No, because the coins are held up. It's kind of like what ends up happening. It's not necessarily that the coins are not sent from the masternodes, because whenever you send an amount, so you're sending that amount to another address.
Right.
Okay. Now, the masternodes, what they do is that they verify. Okay, they will verify. They'll give the instant 6 confirmations to say this is there. Okay.
Okay.
So when you do what's called private send, it basically bounces the coins off of a whole bunch of masternodes in order to privatize it. It's basically coin mixing. So in the public ledger system, right? It's a public ledger. It writes off that this amount is here, right? Now, within proof of work, you have to wait for the block to hit.
Okay, so masternodes are a way of confirming the transaction before the block has been mined?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So now the masternodes have a couple, they have more than just this, because they're not just for verifying transactions on the blockchain. Because, like, number one, yes, you can use Instant X, and what it'll do is that it'll give you an instant 6 confirmations that this is there. Now, you have to put up the 1,000 as kind of, I look at it kind of like a money transmitter license.
Well, I think that's the part that, people, I think that is the reason why people refer to it as proof of stake, because you're kind of putting your coins out there to establish your own credibility on the network.
Exactly.
And that's essentially what staking is.
Yeah, well, staking, yes, except that when we say like proof of stake, it's all of the coins are used in that. In masternodes, it's that just you set up that 1,000, and this is for your money transmitter license, basically.
Right, and it's also not proportional, so you're not confirming more transactions if you put like 10,000 mining in there. I mean, 10,000 XMN in there, correct?
Yes, you have to do exactly 1,000 in order to basically unlock that feature. Now, you can make 10 different transactions of 1,000 coins, right? And make and pull the tax ID and put it into your masternode and say, this is, here's a tax ID. This is, my 1,000 coins that I'm putting up. Now, what ends up happening is that each of those masternodes of, those 1,000 coins are put up in order to host a masternode. Now, when you make that, whenever you set that up, the masternode is kind of like an assurance to the network that you're not going to trick the system, because obviously, if you try to trick the system, your coins are absorbed by the system. That's how it's made.
Okay.
So you're not to trick the system. Now, what ends up happening is that masternodes have
so similar
more...
to proof of work. I mean, proof of stake, though. It's so similar to it.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that as a criticism, because I'm a huge fan of proof of stake. So I just wanted to explain that context.
The masternodes, though, they have a lot more, because masternodes can also be used in governance, by the way. So, and obviously we know this from Dash. Dash has a setup so that you can do voting with the masternodes.
As does Zencash.
Yes. So the idea within Motion of what we wanted to use a voting system for was in Motion platform. So masternode operators will actually be able to upvote and downvote projects that are listed onto the platform. So they'll be able to vote for their favorite project, right? They'll also be able to What else is it? And they'll also be able to be used for arbitration. So some masternode holders will be able to actually list themselves as for arbitration services.
All right. Well,
within the platform.
When we get back, we'll continue on with how the masternode system within the Motion Project functions. While we're joined by Yusha Lee from motionproject.org.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT NoGov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Disclaimer. When I die, I want to be put into orbit around Earth in a flying kick position. This is my dream. My dream.
All right. Welcome back into the final segment of this Monday live edition of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is our crypto hour winding down. We've been joined today by our sponsors from themotionproject.org, one of their marketing guys, Mr. Yusha Lee. Now, we, as always, get the best stuff when we're off the air.
Yeah.
But Arya wanted to ask.
Yeah, so let's say I wanted to create a project of some description, and I don't want to use Kickstarter or GoFundMe or whatever, or Patreon, because I don't want it reported to the government.
Mm-hmm.
How would I go about getting that onto Motion Project, and I guess promoting it so that the masternodes would upvote it? And how does Motion Project facilitate my project? And
the idea behind, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, and the creation of it.
Yes. So the idea within the crowdfunding platform is to set up a decentralized system in order to do crowdfunding. And number one of the things that we were going over while we were off the air was the idea behind how it works and why you wouldn't want to use the quote unquote conventional means. So how to set it up, it will be very easy. The idea is to have a website that you can go on to the platform, and you can make your project, spell everything out, show how it's going to be done, what you're going to do, and then you have to make milestones. Right. So
I'm familiar with those from Patreon and things like that.
Yes. So it'll be very similar to that, except that there are some very big differences. So number one is that you have a problem within the space of crowdfunding in the contract agreements. You have problems within the fees and obviously the security risks. The other problem that you run into is in the cryptocurrency way of doing it, that there is almost zero accountability to any project. So when somebody does an ICO, like you can use Ethereum right now, you can make an ICO, you make your contract.
Yes, you can. It's so
easy. It costs you $2.
Yep.
$2.
I mean, that's how we end up with Bitcoin, silver, and all of these other scam coins that just took people's Ethereum and ran off.
When you make an ICO contract.
Let me ask a question real quick. Is Motion Project fixated only upon ICOs? I mean, let's say I wanted to make a video game.
Actually, we're not trying to do. We are not trying to facilitate ICOs. Actually, it's the idea of
so you
Motion
would be the go-to people for like video games, or I want to produce a movie, or I want to publish a book. Okay, awesome.
Yes, we want to deal with physical, actual products and organizations and physical things in real life, of what you would normally do. As much as it's a wonderful idea of being able to create your company on blockchain, and I was actually before I got into Motion Project, I was working on an idea for this, but that's besides our talk today. But what Motion is trying to do is to work with real physical products and projects. So the idea of it is that, you would simply be able to go on, and it's just like a questionnaire. What is it you're trying to do? When are you trying to do it? And what are your milestones? And then when people get, and we actually have
in the future tense, so I'm assuming this part of it isn't live yet.
This is going to be Q4 is going to be the development of the Motion platform, the testnet of that, and the contract of adding the contract to it. Like we already have most of the framework together. It's just a matter of figuring out all the bits and pieces and the details of exactly how we're going to implement it in. And then from there to design the website, and then the beginning of next year to launch it.
All right. And speaking of the contracts you mentioned, we discussed that briefly during the break as well. I had read, I think it was in the white paper, that eventually Motion is going to use smart contracts to verify that, hey, this milestone has been met. So let's release these funds. And as you said during the break, it's not just that. So we like discussing smart contracts here on the show because we understand so little about them. So can you explain to me how Motion is going to use smart contracts and what they're going to be capable of doing in order to ensure that the project creators are being held accountable?
Yes. So the idea behind the contracts on Motion platform is that the Patreon sends the patron sends XMN to the contract. The contract is on the chain, so no funds are held by a third party. There's no PayPal, there's no bank, there's no Kickstarter, right? The funds are held on the chain itself. So it's held within the contract, and no one can access that. No one can access that. In order for it to be unlocked, right? We also have it set up so it's each project is going to require at least 4 milestones. Okay. So, and each time you reach to a milestone, right? You'll have a messaging system so that you can reach out to the people that funded you. And then what will end up happening is that when you reach to that milestone, it has a timestamp, right? When you reach to that milestone, it's going to be discussed. Was this milestone met? Did we execute it correctly? Was it actually done? Now, the people who donated have a voting right. They can either say, no, it didn't happen, right? Holding the funds there. And if it needs to, it can go back to arbitration, like we were talking about earlier with the masternodes, right? Then in the case, the milestone was met, everything's fine, no problem, unlock funds. So a portion of the funding will be unlocked and given over to the person or the organization or the business who made that contract and is hosting it on the Motion platform.
All right, now, what about a project that doesn't fall neatly into milestones? Like, say, I've written this book, but I can't afford to get it published. I mean, the work there is already done, so there wouldn't really be any milestones to meet. Would it be capable of facilitating that sort of project and that sort of campaign?
Sure. The idea of it is that you have to come up with milestones. The milestones can be anything that is put into the contract that your team or yourself and your donors, right, agree to.
So it could just be something simple like I contacted a publisher.
Yeah, I contacted to a publisher, and you just provide proof that I contacted a publisher.
Gotcha.
The main thing of it is that each person, right, we have to give the tools for both the creators as well as the backers or the donors, so that they can make better informed decisions. Because nowadays, right, with what we saw with the ICO space is people literally make a white paper that says white paper. And then they have some flashy graphics. Nobody reads anything.
Well, you can buy one for $70.
Pink Taxi Coin. Pink Taxi Coin, the copy-pasted white paper.
And they've become advertising brochures more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I just read one yesterday.
ICO doesn't have a white paper because we're not a technology. We're just like, hey, we're charity.
Yeah.
With Sudica.io?
We should write a white paper, though.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I think it would be it would be good in order to explain it.
Yeah. Like, here's the problem that exists, and here is how we're going to solve this problem.
I love how while we're on the air, every time that we're on the air, that we're like we give away coins within like 20 minutes, the value of Motion goes up like 3 cents.
Awesome.
Every time, because I keep the Motion value open while I'm on the air, because at some point I'm going to have to mention it.
Well, Motion is an awesome idea.
It is a great idea.
And it's a lot more flexible with its usage of smart contracts than I would have anticipated.
I'm really glad that we got involved with it. Now, you should give us all your pertinent informations and stuff. You got 30 seconds. Websites and all that stuff. Discord.
Well, number one, you can always go to www.motionproject.org. That's motionproject.org, and you can get all of the information there. You can check out our Bitcoin Talk thread from there. You can also join to our community and the Discord or Telegram if you have that. You can also follow us online at motion_coin.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.79 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,242 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,610. Antiwar.com reports released on Sunday. A new report from the UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan says 1,692 civilians were killed across Afghanistan in the first 6 months of 2018. This is the highest death toll for a half a year since the UN started keeping track. Interestingly, the same report showed a slight decline in overall casualties among Afghan civilians over the same period. This suggests the attacks are deadlier, but leaving fewer survivors overall. It is particularly noteworthy that this half year set a new record as it came with a multi-day ceasefire in June, during which fighting nationwide ground to a virtual halt. This increase in deaths is seen as being driven at least in part by a substantial rise in suicide attacks that included some very large-scale attacks attributed to the Islamic State. The UN found that over half of the casualties from suicide attacks were from those launched by the Islamic State, underscoring the group's growing influence in the country. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports an Oregon woman was found 200 feet down a cliff near Big Sur, California, since being missing 1 week ago, according to authorities. Angela Hernandez of Portland, Oregon, was found by the Monterey County Sheriff's Office while responding to a report of a white Jeep with Oregon plates over the cliff off of Highway 1. Hernandez, who had been missing since July 6, was taken by helicopter to a hospital, according to a Facebook post by the Sheriff's Office late Friday. Hernandez said she had been there for 1 week, and to stay hydrated, she used a radiator hose to siphon water from a nearby stream. On Thursday and Friday, the sheriff's office had searched Highway 1 for her white 2011 Jeep Patriot. 2 people walking in the area found her vehicle partially submerged and dialed 911, according to the sheriff's office. Isabel Hernandez posted on Facebook on Saturday, "My sister is alive, she's talking, and she's still trying to come to understand everything. She's a fighter and she fought this long and she will continue to. It's not going to be an easy recovery." A GoFundMe account has been set up by the sister, who said in her accident she lost everything, including her car, which was her livelihood. Her family said they last heard from her on July 6 from Half Moon Bay. She was driving from Portland to Lancaster in California to visit family. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. Reuters reports surfers warily returned to the waters off Fernandina Beach in northern Florida over the weekend after what appeared to be a rare double shark attack on Friday. Fernandina Beach Fire Department got a call late Friday afternoon that a 30-year-old man was bitten by a shark. 3 minutes later, they received a call about a 17-year-old who had been bitten just over a mile south down the beach, according to a statement by the city. The beach was immediately closed but reopened on Saturday, with ocean rescue services watching the waters for dangerous marine life. Shark attacks are common in Florida, with dozens reported in the state each year, but they usually happen in waters off southern Atlantic beaches and are rare in the state's northernmost county, where Fernandina Beach is located. The city's police department said in a statement that Dustin Theobald, 30, received several lacerations and puncture wounds to his right foot from the bite. The 17-year-old, who was not identified, received puncture wounds to his foot as well, according to the fire department. The city said both were in stable condition and with non-life-threatening injuries. Theobald told a local television news station he was watching his 8-year-old surf when he saw what he believed to be a nurse shark or a black tip shark and kicked it to try to make it go away. The teenager was bitten while wading in shallow water. It was not clear whether one or two separate sharks were involved in the two incidents. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after accidentally clicking like on nearly 400 of his ex-girlfriend's Facebook photos earlier today, panicked area man Adam Nuensing spoke to Onion reporters about his mistake.
Damn it, I was just looking at one of Rebecca's Instagram photos that showed up in my newsfeed, and the next thing I know, I just liked every single photo that she posted over the last 4 years. I didn't mean to, but it just kind of happened.
The 28-year-old told reporters that he had browsed through 14 of his ex-girlfriend's photo albums while inadvertently clicking like on each and every picture, including dozens from her office picnic last fall, her trip to New York in 2010, and a photo of her and her first boyfriend from 2006.
I thought if I went back and clicked unlike on all those pictures that maybe she wouldn't get any notifications, but then I saw some other albums and I ended up liking 80 more photos and shared them on my wall. Shit.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're coming up on our third and final hour of this live drive home Monday afternoon broadcast, brought to you from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We're joined in the studio now by our anti-state accountant and tax prep lady, Melanie Simpson, right?
Johnson.
It was one of those names that
Good
everybody
job.
has.
That you've graduated from mispronunciations to just completely getting people's names wrong.
I know, it's
Congratulations.
awful. Simpson,
It's like a PhD.
Johnson, Smith.
It's one of those generic names.
Generic white names. Yeah.
That's called victim blaming, Will.
Shh. Hush. How's that victim blaming?
It's your fault for having such a weird name. If you had or such a normal name, if you had a less normal name, I wouldn't completely screw your name
Oh,
up.
that's not true at all. I mean, he said Demesio for like 6 months.
I'm just surprised you didn't.
Thompson's
I'm
like,
surprised.
I don't know.
I'm surprised you didn't call her Melania.
I don't get that in the North. I got like all kinds of weird variations in the South. Everybody in the North can pronounce my name.
Well, being a Monday afternoon and having the cool story that I've got here, I guess it's time for us to have a little bit of...
Oh, I haven't done one of these in forever because I haven't been on Fridays during the summer. I'm so happy.
That's right. It's time for the Libertarian Drama Remix. Remix is, well, that means it's a story involving some kind of drama around the Libertarian Party that's big enough that I don't want to wait until Friday to cover it. Either that or I don't think you can mine it for very much humor. One or the other. Well, we've got a story here. It is about the king, well, the queen, the prince, the co-conspirator of libertarian drama of 2017, Mr. Larry Sharpe. Larry Sharpe back in the news, and this time not for virtue signaling, not for being mad about something that someone said that was too libertarian for someone that wanted to donate to him and then changed their mind. No, this is actually something that like libertarians should be paying attention to.
I mean, is he trying to purge the anarchists again?
No, right. Well, Larry Sharpe's, there was a rebel effort to draft Larry Sharpe onto the New York GOP primary ballot. And, well, that effort is hereby over.
You know, I'm against it, even if it could be done, because I think we need to move as far away from the Republican Party as possible. I mean, nobody would think about drafting him for the Democratic Party.
Right.
And we have no more in common with the Republicans than we do the Democrats. They're both just freaking awful.
Right. Well, it says here a rebel effort to draft Libertarian Party gubernatorial candidate Larry Sharpe onto the New York Republican primary ballot has failed to gather sufficient signatures. Interventions from top New York GOP leaders, including Republican candidate Mark Molinaro, convinced the movement's leaders to withdraw their support and discourage other petitioners from taking part. Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that they said the same thing they said to Bill Weld. When Bill Weld in 2006 was going to run and he got the Libertarian Party's governor nod to run for the governorship of the state of New York as the Libertarian Party candidate, and a letter comes from the Republican Party to Bill and says, you know, Bill, we have a really hard time running races in New York because, I mean, we're already outnumbered like 99-1 Democrat to Republican here, and we can't win. And if you run and you get whatever percentage it is in New York, then that means we're going to have to run primary battles against libertarians, and we're going to have to learn how to campaign against libertarians, and we would really prefer that you didn't let that happen. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happened here. The people in the GOP that were like, look, man, this guy, he's winning, he's getting a lot of support, he's polling really, really well. No one ever dreamed this could happen. I think we should get GOP voters to vote for him because at least it will be something similar to our values. And they were like, you know what? Small victory in the governorship versus having to campaign against libertarians across the country from now on. We'll just give the governorship to the Democrats.
Well, I mean, it's just one party, so
Over 100 county-level GOP activists spontaneously contacted the Sharp campaign in mid-June. In a flood of emails, they expressed their disappointment with the official Republican Party candidate, Mark Molinaro, and expressed support for getting Larry and his running mate, Andrew Hollister, onto the Republican primary ballot.
Hey, you guys know you can vote for the Libertarian, right?
Right.
You don't have to just click the guy with the R next to his name. As of 2018, you do still have the freedoms to press any one of those buttons that you like.
I love this. This is after spending time with Republican Party candidate Mark Molinaro last week. I've learned that with Mark Molinaro as a candidate we have a very real opportunity to defeat Cuomo. Cuomo's got to go. For these reasons, the only real chance at this time to replace Cuomo and end 4 more years of Cuomo's destructive tax and spend policies is to support Mike Molinaro. And for those of us who continue to insist on supporting Larry Sharpe for governor, I highly recommend getting behind the Larry Sharpe for Governor 2022 movement. This could and should be the long game, or the 10 to 20 year plan several of you have spoken about.
Oh dear God.
It's the old Republican playbook. You can have freedom tomorrow if you just support us today. Maybe.
Right.
Isn't that their tax? Usually their spending policy too? I will have a hamburger, but I will gladly pay you next year. Isn't that Trump's plan? Like, what we're going to do is we're going to borrow money from China.
Well, Trump's plan is to
pay the farmers so that the tariffs don't put all of America in the poorhouse.
Well, I mean, that's what Trump's doing. He's taking a salad and giving it to people and saying, this is a burger. And his supporters like, that is a burger.
I mean, doesn't that defeat the purpose of tariffs?
What is their purpose?
Tariffs defeat the purpose of tariffs.
Right.
Well, the purpose, and early on, pretty explicitly, the purpose was to discourage you from buying foreign goods.
Yes.
But then if I'm going to subsidize the difference, you're not very discouraged.
Well, no, basically what they're saying is that since we've got the tariff war with China, China is not buying from our farmers. So in order to offset the farmers' losses, we're borrowing money from China to pay the farmers extra subsidies. That'll show them.
Well, if it made sense, it wouldn't be a state.
That'll show those damn Chinese. We won't buy their steel if they don't give it to us without a tariff. And we'll borrow money from interest, with interest from them to cover the difference. Anyway, when we get back here, we're going to continue on with how the GOP in New York kicked old Larry Sharpe right in his balls. When we get back here on the Call to Freedom, here on LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from, well, somewhere with quite a bit more freedom than New York. The ZenCast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about New York's GOP, which basically is a wounded dog to start with, giving poor old Larry Sharpe a kick in the stones, saying, you know what? You can have some freedom in a couple years from now, 4 years from now. Well, we're not ready to get behind a candidate that's polling well. We prefer the failed Republican Party that hasn't had the,
Well, I would like to see Sharpe decline the opportunity if it had been offered to him. I doubt that he would, but I would love for him to say, but I'm not a Republican, I'm a libertarian. If you want to vote for me, then vote for me as a libertarian.
Well, Gary Perry was reached out to by the News Growl, and according to Perry, he'd been one of the most important initial people to promote Sharpe's candidacy for the Republican line, In mid-June, Perry said he emailed GOP county chairs and others saying that he was convinced that Molinaro simply couldn't win the governorship. After speaking with Sharp's campaign, he urged fellow GOP activists to get behind an opportunity to ballot petition, which would allow Sharp, as a non-Republican, to run as a write-in candidate in the primary against Molinaro. According to Shannon Jay, Molinaro's not even running. When we asked Perry what Molinaro said to him to convince him that the Republican ticket would actually be competitive, something that he himself had argued was impossible just a month ago, Perry offered no details, saying, "I did meet with Molinaro and have learned of his plans in office, and I believe that Molinaro's plan is solid and worth supporting. Molinaro has a very real opportunity if his campaign performs."
But, I mean,
every campaign has a chance to beat Como if they perform well. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got to meet with the guy in order to go from disliking him to liking him, then he's an awful candidate and you need to pick someone else. You shouldn't need to meet the candidate individually on a personal level before you go, oh, okay, he's not a complete jack-off.
Yes, right. I mean, that's a skill set. And if you know everyone hates me unless they get to know me, then probably you are not the person to run for office.
Well, it says here, Newsgrowl spoke to popular syndicated conservative talk show host Shannon Joy, and although not an active participant in the petitioning effort, Joy has extensive connections among grassroots Republicans in western New York State and has been included in much of the discussion. I think part of the problem was a disagreement over strategy, she explained. The Sharp campaign has been very upfront from the start about where they would be devoting their resources. I think Gary and others, for some reason, had different expectations. I don't know what made Gary turn after bashing Molinaro for weeks. He had a meeting with him and suddenly started saying, "Go Molinaro." The idea that Molinaro had a chance to win is complete and utter bull. Molinaro's not even running. He has no name recognition across the state. You can't even see him without paying $2.50 per plate. I love Gary, but I think he's wrong on this. That doesn't change anything for libertarians in New York, though. They won't be intimidated by the New York GOP. I don't see why they would, being as the New York GOP is easily the weakest political anything in the state. Libertarians easily giving, so much so that they've colluded against libertarians in 2006 with Bill Weld, and now it looks like they've gotten to people who wanted to put Sharp's name on the GOP ballot to push out Molinaro because, well, Molinaro sucks. But
they gave him the old Cortez treatment.
They did. All the potential petitioners were Republican, and they were dissuaded by the public comments by some of the leaders of the effort. We're now shifting our focus to making sure we can get so many signatures that the Republican Party can't keep us off the general election ballot on a libertarian line. Lauren McKinnon, Sharp's campaign communications director, thinks the mere existence of the petitioning effort is a serious sign that Larry's a real contender for this November. Just the fact that over 100 Republicans would contact us desperate for Larry to replace Molinaro on the GOP ballot line speaks volumes.
It doesn't just speak volumes about that, though. It speaks volumes about their irrational loyalty to a freaking line on a ballot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the ballot. Just freaking vote for him.
For real, who cares what letter? Oh, he's a Republican and the Libertarian, so.
But he's not on the Republican line, so I don't know what to do.
I'm very comfortable supporting him, says Shannon Jay, and I'm not the only one. As a Republican and someone who has contacts with Republicans across the state, I can confirm there's a very real and robust movement to support Sharp. McKinnon has reasons to be optimistic. Despite the petitioning effort not succeeding, there are plenty of normally Republican voters backing Larry Sharp, whatever the New York GOP's official position is. I think Larry's going to give them a run for their money in New York. But I said that before he ever announced. I mean,
I paid no attention to it because I don't like
He's
Larry Sharpe.
a black business owner, self-made Marine Corps veteran. He checks all the boxes, for the left and the right both. He's like if Obama and Trump and John F. Kennedy had a love child, it would be,
which is not unrealistic,
right? It would be Larry Sharpe, military veteran, businessman, lost everything, rebuilt a business empire, great orator, and a member of a minority. I mean, he's like the golden child for New York. No wonder the Republicans and the Democrats both are attacking the hell out of him. I'm not a big fan of his politics always. Sometimes he says really good stuff. Sometimes he says stuff that makes me wish that he would be quiet. Like when he attacked Arvin Vohra. But you have to admit, he's got them scared. Yeah. He's got the third-party lefties and the Republicans and the Democrats in his state giving him a second look.
Which, I mean, I guess is good, but it really doesn't matter how many offices the Libertarian Party wins because the state is not a vehicle for securing liberty.
Amen to that. I'll agree with that. I'll definitely agree with that. The state is definitely not the vehicle for attaining liberty. It would be nice, though, to see Larry Sharpe. I mean, he would be the most pro-liberty anything New York had seen in 60 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So it would be, at least for New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, these super liberal states, Larry Sharpe-style governorships would be a major step up. Anyway, when we get back, we're going to continue on. Why does the IRS think that it has a right to tell you whether or not you can leave the U.S.?
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Hours spent volunteering at a local homeless shelter truly make her death at the hands of a drunk driver earlier this week all the harder to take for this school and this community.
I never knew Amanda, but everywhere I went there were touching reminders of the caring friend she would have been to me had I known her.
Losing Amanda was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with, but I knew I had to be strong for this community. I couldn't let them go through the funeral without my support.
She's so much better than all of us. She was so much good. She cared about so many people. She loved you so much. What's your name? She loved you, Russell.
And we have Brady Shaw with us right now.
Thanks, Brooke.
Not quite how I would have reported the story. Seems a bit unprofessional to let yourself get so emotional.
Well, when people are feeling pain, I feel it too. Don't you ever get emotionally invested in a story?
No, I don't. You know, I had my tear ducts cauterized years ago, and I like to keep my emotions stored in a special place in my mind where they only come out for my night terrors.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and I'm joined in studio. Well, we've got with us Miss Aria DeMezzo from the cryptocurrencycheck.org, along with, our anarcho accountant, Miss Melanie Simpson.
You had to think about it.
I did. I totally almost called her Johnson again, too.
I also have a new book coming out soon.
Because Johnson is correct. You're looking at me like I was supposed to say Johnson. You were like, you almost said the right name.
And then I'm just going to confuse you in too much and switch it up.
Yeah,
I will. Hush. Arya's trying to plug something.
Right. Go ahead, Arya.
I've actually got a new book that I'll be publishing soon.
Woo!
Yep.
Right on. So, the next topic on the list is, turns out that the IRS now has the ability to tell you whether or not you can leave.
Walls keep people out. Walls keep people in just as much as they keep them out.
That's right. When it comes to human migration, nearly everything we hear. Oh, and we're reading this from myseas.org. So, of course, that means that everyone on the show is automatically now. You guys are all Rommels.
Rommel?
I don't know what that means.
It's a head
Aren't those the noodles you eat when you're poor?
That's ramen. Rommel, as in the propagandist of the Nazi Party.
Oh.
Because you're reading.
With all the World War II documentaries I've watched, I should have known.
Because we're reading Mises. Nobody gets the joke.
Yeah, I got the joke. It's just
I
not
mean,
funny.
yeah. I don't agree that they're Nazi propagandists.
Well, that's
as
why
the
it's a
left
joke.
accuses them.
God. See, when you have to spell it out, it totally
Well, because that could have
loses
been
it.
a serious accusation by some crazy leftist
Shipley.
Democrat. I don't
By
know if you're joking or not, really.
More like Mike Shipley. I don't know if he's taken seriously by anyone outside of his own personal circles.
And he's not a Democrat.
No.
Yet.
No, he's a libertarian socialist.
Wait until some more socialists are nominated within the Democratic Party.
If you're a
I bet he
socialist,
switches.
I don't really care what kind of socialist you are.
Well, voluntary socialist, I can understand. But when you say seize the means of production, that's not voluntary.
They're anarcho-communists,
yeah,
but they call themselves libertarian socialists.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what words mean.
Like voluntary
because
socialism.
socialist is by definition with the government.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they don't know that.
Well,
They have the internet.
And they are resistant to being
Can we
told
get back
that.
to the story
Right.
that's actually interesting and not this?
Well, when it comes to human migration, nearly everything we hear nowadays is in relation to the United States and Europe, and it's related to immigration into North America and Europe. Historically, however, governments have often been as concerned with immigration with an E as they are with immigration with an I.
They don't want to lose their sources of revenue.
This is not surprising, since government have always attempted to monopolize the legitimate means of movement, as noted by historian John Torpey. For Torpey, author of The Intervention of the Passport, Surveillance, Citizenship, and the State, a preferred method of regulating international movement has been the passport. Wendy McElroy puts things in a little less subtly when she describes the passport as a tool of the state that it can use to exert social control by refusing travel to enemies of the state. It should not be surprising, then, that the U.S. government is now cracking down on Americans who have outstanding tax bills by holding their passports hostage. This could affect more than 360,000 Americans. Former Congressman Bob Barr notes this week that in an extremely troubling move 3 years ago, the Republican-controlled Congress handed the IRS the power to strip individuals of one of the most important and tangible rights possessed by American citizens, their passports. The service is now starting to use this hammer.
We don't have the right to a passport. We have the right to travel wherever the hell we want without a passport.
Free movement. Now,
the passport is the destruction of that right. Withholding the passport is just them reminding us that they have destroyed the right.
Well, now, this isn't the first time that the passport has been used as a weapon. There is, it was a regulation. It wasn't passed by Congress. It was just pushed through by Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State. And you know what's funny? No one really cared. Because it was targeting child support. If you were more than $2,000 in arrears on child support, you automatically lost your passport. Now, why didn't really matter. Or say you were a father or a mother. Well, no, it couldn't possibly happen to a mother because...
Yeah, it's pretty much if you're a father.
If you're a father and you're a teenager, you get a girl pregnant in high school, she says, oh, well, I cheated on you with these 15 guys and I don't want you around. The baby's not yours. And then 5-6 years later, that mother comes up and says, well, you know what? I'm single. I'm broke. I need to win the Who's the Daddy lottery. And your name gets entered in and you are the lucky winner. Now, in many states, they don't really care if you knew if you were the father or not. You now are saddled with...
Even if you can prove through DNA evidence in some states that you are not the father, you're still on the hook for that child support.
Well, that's a different situation, though. This is like, say you didn't know, and then all of a sudden...
Now you owe all that back child support.
You owe $35,000 in back child support for the course of, for like child support over 6 years. You automatically lose your passport. Well, what if you have a job overseas? Guess you better get used to that job at McDonald's, bro. And by the way, we're going to continue to tax you for child support as though you still had that big, high-paying job at McDonald's, unless you can afford hundreds of dollars in court costs to get back in front of the judge. And
hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars.
Well, just if you're only going to represent yourself, it's like $350 to get in the courtroom.
Yeah, but that's kind of just a waste of $350.
It's also a really dumb idea. But that affected 400,000 people in the U.S. and nobody cared. Nobody cared that the government was like, oh, well, we're going to take your passport. But now that rich middle-class folks who are back due on their taxes can't get their passport to go take that Paris vacation, now it's an issue worthy of discussing. Says Barr, who, by the way, was targeted by the Libertarian Party as the worst drug warrior in Congress, about 2 or 3 years before they made him their presidential nominee, rightly points out, given we already know that the IRS uses its power to target political enemies, this new power of the agency is especially troubling. He also knows how long other agencies might demand, till other agencies demand similar powers from Congress, such as the power to stop a citizen's ability to secure a driver's license, obtain a loan from a federally insured financial institution.
What is he talking about obtaining a driver's license? They already do that.
To people who get child support problems.
And people who don't pay their traffic tickets.
Or people who don't pay other fines. So like if you live in Florida and you get in trouble for marijuana possession and you leave and never pay the ticket, they'll suspend your driver's license and you have to make you have to pay that ticket in Florida.
Tom, wasn't it the state of Tennessee that actually recently had a judge rule that it was not acceptable to suspend people's licenses for unpaid tickets?
Yes, it was a federal judge, so there may be a little bit of relief coming for that sort of nonsense soon. I hope.
I would hope so.
Very good, very good. When we get back here, we're going to continue on with the story about why. Oh, well, actually, no, we're not. We're going to continue on with our cannabis news here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Day long while ago.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire.
That's right, your only libertarian source, it turns out, for cannabis news. We were just talking about this the other day. If you look at MPP or Marijuana Policy Project, even though they advertise on LRN, they and most of their writers and material, very, very left-leaning. Leafly, our source for our cannabis news, very, very left-leaning usually. High Times, very, very left-leaning. There is no libertarian source, except for us.
I mean, which is bizarre because libertarians kicked off the whole thing, and then it got co-opted by Democrats.
The tax and regulate movement basically killed the libertarian, because the libertarians are make it legal, end the drug war, and the lefties are like, let's refocus the drug war.
Yeah, people are quit believing that weed is dangerous and going to kill everybody in a 13-mile radius, so they got to move on to something else because they're just losing credibility.
Well, now it's we have to keep the
now it's opiates.
Well, no, now it's the black market. Oh, well, good marijuana comes from government installations that are regulated and taxed heavily, and bad marijuana comes from that icky black market where people grow marijuana in their basements and then they sell it to other people without government permission slips and without inspection slips or any of the or the government getting their cut of the profits. And the only way they were able to convince the government that it was okay to smoke pot was to dangle money in their face. That was how they got it to happen. And it's pretty sad that we have to purchase our freedom. The way I explained it was every state, like say New Hampshire, right? Like probably 30 to 40% of people that live in New Hampshire smoke marijuana or know someone who smokes marijuana, right?
Oh, well, if you include, who knows someone, is probably 100%.
Right. So you take those people and the government only catches like maybe 1 out of 50 and writes them a ticket or puts them in jail. Out of all the people that smoke marijuana, maybe 1 out of 50 get caught.
And I mean, half of those end up becoming expenses for the state because they get arrested for selling.
So what happened was this lefty went to the government and said, hey, right now there's all this profit that you're missing because you're focusing on criminalizing it. If you make it legal and tax it, that 1 out of 50 stoners that gives you $500 in a year in fines, you could get all of them to pay you and do it voluntarily. Just let them smoke it and tax it. And then instead of only getting the $500 from one pothead, you get the $500 from all the potheads. And the government saw it was expensive for the taxpayer and lucrative, and then it was good.
It is amusing to me that Prison Corporations of America got outbid by a bunch of potheads.
Yeah. Well, not in New Hampshire. Not in New Hampshire. You know, the only state in our area that's still, you know, like we're literally this little tiny hole of not legal in a sea of recreational marijuana.
We got everything else, though. We'll live.
Maine. Well, no, like our medical is
still
super
work
regulated.
on it.
Our medical is super. It's one of the most restrictive medical marijuana laws in the country.
That's kind of almost a I don't want to say it's a non-issue because nothing should be illegal, but it's not like if they had high barriers for, you know, some other medication that you needed. You can get weed.
Right.
Like, if you can't get weed, I don't know what to tell you. But you can get it. So it's not like it's illegal.
Yeah, but can you get the good weed that came from the dispensary, or are you going to get the homegrown?
You can get whatever you're going to pay for.
Depends on who's growing it at home, whether or not it's better than it is in the dispensary. You want to be honest. Now, the article that I brought here, it's talking about red states embracing cannabis legalization and expanding access, but then it starts off with easily the worst example. Last month, during a referendum, Oklahoma voted to legalize marijuana.
Well, sort of. It turns out the bill was a lot more restrictive than the initial article implied.
Well, no, they changed it after it passed. Just like
no,
they did
the
in
initial
Florida.
bill was just medical marijuana.
Yeah. Well, they changed the rules after they passed it as well to make it more restrictive than what the voters actually voted on.
Well, they attempted to, but now they're being sued about it. I think I talked about it.
Well, I know in
Friday.
Florida they got sued and they lost, and I'm hoping that the precedent on that will hold over and apply in Oklahoma, because they basically did the same thing. There's a referendum, and then the legislature went in and gutted the referendum and basically said, you voted that you can have medical marijuana, but we'll restrict every possible avenue of access, and we'll make it illegal to possess or consume. But it's legal. But all ways of consuming it are, you can't have marijuana that can be eaten, vaporized, smoked, or topical. But it's medically legal. So if you can find marijuana that is neither topical, smokable, vapable, or edible, then it is legal to you and the doctor can prescribe it to you. After the voters voted for the opposite. So, you know, it's a whole vote harder next time kind of thing. Like that, everybody tells me, like, well, I vote because referendums, my voice matters, and the referendum. Unless, of course, there's a really, really money-driven lobby group like the police union, the sheriff's union, the prison industrial complex, you know, all of these things.
The pharmaceutical union that is the Oklahoma State Board of Health.
So, yeah, if you can do that, then more power to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a while before it makes more sense to buy it on the white market than to buy it on the black market.
Well, this says here that just yesterday, there's, North Dakota marijuana legalization initiative delivered 18,000 signatures to the Secretary of State's office in Bismarck. If state officials verify at least 13,482 of those, and barring a legal challenge, voters in North Dakota will get their own opportunity to pass a bill that the legislator later changes to whatever the hell they want. Surprised? Don't be. 2 years ago, North Dakota voters caught national legalization advocates off guard when they passed a medical marijuana legalization measure. And an even bigger win came last night in Maine, where state legislatures vigorously overrode Governor LePage's veto of a medical marijuana bill. With a nearly unanimous vote, the Maine legislature eliminated qualifying conditions altogether, leaving it up to a physician's discretion, and allowed dispensaries to operate as for-profit enterprises like drugstores and pharmacies, and increased the allowed possession limit for patients from 2.5 ounces to 8 pounds. Woohoo! That's pretty cool, because LePage was like, I will not have my and the Trump and the sessions, and I love my authority. And the Maine legislature was unanimously like, get bent. I'm loving that. So, yeah, Sununu, just so you know, bro, that's your northern border. So you've got legal recreational marijuana on the western border, and now 8 pounds is legal on your northern border, and full recreational legality on your southern border. So you know that whole thing where you're like, I don't like bro, it's a losing battle. It really is. You and your right-wing cronies who are constantly like lapping at the trough of the police unions, y'all should just tap out on this one. Take the taxes. I'm going to be fighting them first thing. But, I mean, seriously, man, take what you can get, because people are tired of marijuana being illegal, and we're just going to keep whittling away at your fines.
Plus, if you want to, win the drug war, legalize pot.
Right? It's the best way to fight opiates.
It's sad to lose a war to inanimate objects for
to
that
a plant,
long.
For real. To a bunch of stoners, burnouts, conspiracy theorists, and a plant. That's just government for you. Don't go anywhere. Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.79 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,242 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,610. Antiwar.com reports released on Sunday. A new report from the UN assistance mission in Afghanistan says 1,692 civilians were killed across Afghanistan in the first 6 months of 2018. This is the highest death toll for a half a year since the UN started keeping track. Interestingly, the same report showed a slight decline in overall casualties among Afghan civilians over the same period. This suggests the attacks are deadlier, but leaving fewer survivors overall. It is particularly noteworthy that this half year set a new record as it came with a multi-day ceasefire in June, during which fighting nationwide ground to a virtual halt. This increase in deaths is seen as being driven, at least in part, by a substantial rise in suicide attacks that included some very large-scale attacks attributed to the Islamic State. The UN found that over half of the casualties from suicide attacks were from those launched by the Islamic State, underscoring the group's growing influence in the country. Zencash is